Hi everyone, Evie here, the Greek goddess of great reading. Happy Halloween, and today I'm going to be reviewing 5 to 1 by Holly Bodger. In the year 2054, after decades of gender selection, India has a ratio of 5 boys for every girl, making women an incredible, valuable commodity. Tired of wedding their daughters to the highest bidder and determined to finally make marriage fair, the women who form the country of Koyanagar have instituted a series of tests so that every boy has the chance to win a wife. Sudasa doesn't want to be a wife, and Kiran, a boy forced to compete in the test to become her husband, has other plans as well. Sudasa's family wants nothing more than their daughter to do the right thing and pick a husband who will keep her comfortable and caged. Kiran's family wants him to escape by failing the test. As the tests advance, Sudasa and Kiran thwart each other until they slowly realize that they just might want the same thing. This book was really cool. It was told from 2 different points of views. Sudasa's was told in verse, while Kiran's was told in prose. And it's interesting to see what each of them are going through and how they slowly start to realize that they aren't against each other, but they are actually should be working together. The book takes place over 3 days, which is the 3 days that these tests are carried out for Sudasa to choose who her husband is going to be from. I believe there were 5 or 8 boys to start with. And I actually read this book in 3 days' time because it was just so quick-paced and very easy to read. Even the verse was very flowing, and sometimes I have a hard time reading books that are written like that, but it was very well written and I finished it so quickly. The notion of this book might seem to give it the idea that it's a feminist type of book just because of the fact that women have more control of men in this city, but in reality that's not what feminism is. Feminism is equality between both the sexes. It's just called feminism, which institutes a female equality because normally and historically females are not given as much rights as males are. So it's just to promote that female equality to be equal to males. But in this one, men are not regarded equal to women either. It's almost like it's been reversed, so that now women are imposing themselves on men and keeping them, sort of beating them down with their words and with how they sort of put them in society. Men aren't allowed to teach, aren't allowed to be doctors, things like that, which normally you'd expect it to be the reverse in historical terms, but it's not equal. It's not good. And Sudasa is starting to see that Kiran has already seen it and doesn't agree with anything that's going on in Koyanagar, and he wants to escape. And I like that the book gave this idea of that normally people associate feminism with women thinking that they are better than men, and that's not what it is. And I like that this book sort of highlighted that and how wrong that viewpoint is as well, just as much as how wrong the viewpoint is that men are better than women. So neither sex is better than the other. We were created to work together. We cannot complete anything without each other. And I think that's a great lesson to take away from this book, is that Sudasa was not able to come to terms with her escaping without Kiran and sort of his drive to do it himself. And Kiran did not realize that not all the women in this country are the same and have the same values, and he did not find that out until he met Sudasa. So without the other, they would never have been able to completely understand and come to terms with what they needed to do for themselves. I really like this book, and there are some quotes from it that I wanted to share with you guys today. This is something that Sudasa's sister says to her while she is in the midst of her tests. If you think you're here to find love, you've missed the point of these tests. You're here to find a man, to put charms on your wrists and Yira in your safe. That's the only thing that matters in Koyanagar. Another thing that her sister says to her: this is the real reason the ratio will soon be down to 3 to 1. It's still happening to the unwanted. The only difference is they're no longer girls. So how that gender swap has happened. Suddenly the females are on top and the men are on the bottom, and they are the ones who are not wanted. In earlier history of China, families would sometimes just leave and abandon their daughters, their newborn daughters, on the side of the street or anywhere because they didn't want them. And now it's happening to boys as opposed to girls in this book. This is something Sudasa says to herself when she finally is realizing that she cannot be the wife of some monster just because the tests call for it and Koyanagar calls for it. Tests or no tests, I am not his. I do not belong to anyone, only belong to me. This is something Kiran says to himself when he's wanting to sort of stand up to this other boy in his test who is not treating Sudasa with the respect that she deserves. I tell him that Sudasa deserves his respect, and not because she's a girl, because she's a human being, like him, like me. This was an amazing book, guys, and I really recommend that you pick it up at a bookstore near you. Happy Halloween! I'm having a party tonight with my friends celebrating. I'm dressing up as Harley Quinn, and I hope you guys have a fun and safe Halloween. I'm still reading A Conspiracy of Blood and Smoke by Anne Blankman, so if you guys want to follow along and catch up with me for my next review, I look forward to it. My Twitter and my website are linked in my bio below. Hit subscribe if you guys like what you see and want to see more videos by me. I'm Evie, the Greek goddess of great reading, and until next time, guys, keep reading.